Corner. All they're thinking about. Oh, as Rowett's just gone massive over mid-on here.
He's hit that one away. That's going to go for 4. Beautifully played. Slightly short. He's got inside the ball and whacked it down to square leg.
Got again. Improvisation for 6 more.
Whoa. Well, where's that come out of? Remember that shot on right?
Oh, he's hit that. That's not all the way too.
And there's a big appeal, and this time he's given him.
Oh, it's got him. He's chopped it back on. He glided it beautifully.
Shane Warne, used from City End.
Bowling. What an absolutely brilliant delivery. And look at Shane Warne.
Hey Bikram, how are you doing today?
Yeah, doing good. We had some technical issues, but yeah, we are back on track now. And
We had a lot of technical issues. We also had to put Patpreet Singh Thin from our last podcast in the train in the first class compartment so he can go back to Fagwada with his 1,000 rupees and so he can get married. So I think a lot of people still have not liked that video and watched it, which is called Freeloaders. So I really hope that people actually watch our last video, which was called Corona Indians. We had 11 types of Corona Indians. And we also asked other people. You commented, but you didn't tell us which kind of Corona Indian are you. So I think people should actually tell us what kind of Corona Indian are you, because I think people are a little bit embarrassed about what kind of Corona Indian they are, but they should not be. Look at me. I pretty much play
yeah,
all of them. So
I just wanted to say that you did a great job in acting all those roles. You actually surpassed Fardeen Khan in Premagan, which I think was his best role ever. So I think that's a great compliment from my side, and for all those people who found my music very loud. Sorry for blowing up your ears. Yeah, Corona Indian. Yeah, I actually didn't. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Uh, but yeah, I think I probably will be that innovative, innovative Indian. I think the innovative Indian was the one which with the plastic sheet. Was it that, or oh, that was not innovative
plastic.
Indian. I
I
think
think
that
that
was
guy was invincible. That guy was invincible.
invent
Invincible.
invincible. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think even you are using not a prescribed mask. You are using some eye patch or something. so
Yeah,
so
I'm using my eye mask, which I sleep, then I wear it on my mouth, and then I probably just use it as a diaper as well. So, it's very multi-purpose. And
uh,
for all the kids that I have at my home. And you obviously did amazing editing. I'm not just saying that because you have to, but a lot of people commented, told me personally as well. And I personally thought it was very professional. Obviously, as you said, the background music, people had problem, which included Shrishti, which included Prithvi, including my mom.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
so she's actually always written it there as well. So the background music with the BHB.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll fix it next time. And let's get on with it then. So
Yep.
I think people should like, write, comment, and subscribe our channel, which is called Blunt Bastards. And this podcast that we're doing right now, it's about the best one-day international players. First, we'll do with the world best 11, and then we'll do the West Indian 11. And this is going to be for the last 25 years, not the entire history of one days. First one-day international was played on 5th January 1971 at the greatest cricket ground. Obviously, some people will think it's Lord. It's not Lord. It's MCG. That's Melbourne Cricket Ground. And I wasn't born to see it, but I must have been interesting. I've obviously watched a lot of matches there. So it has, as they call, soul. So the stadium has soul. That's why I was telling Bikram, if you ever end up in Australia, you have to watch a match, whether it's cricket or football or footy, as they call it in Australia. You have to go to MCG because you'll find a lot of pretty stadiums, including the one in India, Mohali, is very pretty. But the soul is something at MCG, and same they will say at Eden Gardens. You'll have a lot of soul, but you'll get a lot of pushes also and shoves as well, because there'll be
A different
no
experience.
social distancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no social distancing in Eden Gardens. All right, let's kick it then.
Yep. Okay.
We'll start with the international world. And why we chose 95? Because that's the time we started pretty much genuinely, cognitively started watching and understanding who the real players are. So anybody who has been active between 1995 and right now, which means they could have started playing in 1980 also. As long as their peak certain time happened between 1995 and 2020, they will be included. So we'll start with the world team. I'll tell you my first openers for my world team. And I have a little bit surprised because some people think, oh, it's Sachin. I have not taken Sachin, and I've gone with Rohit Sharma and Australian David Warner. And those are my openers. And who did you go with?
Yeah, so went with Sachin. No surprises there. But the other one is a bit of a surprise. The other opener is Sanat Jayasuriya.
Sana Jesuri, I think not a surprise for me. I'm saying, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm saying I totally understand why you've chosen it, but a lot of people who are watching this thing, and because all our major viewers are actually in their early 20s, including Nikesh, Nitesh, and Prithvi, they probably like, who is Sana Jesuri? It's like, who's this guy? So the guy was crazy. Like, can you just tell these people why have you chosen Sana Jesuri? And
Yeah, I
please
mean,
tell them he's a left-handed batsman because they might not even know that.
yeah, he's a left-hander, and also he has taken a lot of wickets as well. So he's a prop. I mean, I would count him as a proper all-rounder. So Sanat Jayasuriya is someone who's actually started the trend of going after the bowling on in the first 15 overs. Because if you see the older matches, people used to play very defensively. I mean, they used to build the innings. But I think Sanat Jayasuriya with Kalu Vitharna was the wicketkeeper that time. So they used to open the innings, and they started this trend of just blasting away in the opening 15 overs, and eventually there were a lot of changes to the rule, like the power play and everything. But that time it was very simple. First 15 overs you were not allowed to have many fielders outside, so they used to take advantage of that, and after that I think that trend started and everyone started following that. So yeah, I think he has played around 400 matches. I mean, I mean, we know him, but still, it's a staggering amount of matches. And he's, apart from making tons on tons of runs, he has taken 300 plus wickets. He'll bring a good balance to the team. We'll have an extra bowler who can fill in the fifth bowler category. And as I unravel my team, you will see that I have such players there. So yeah, I mean, Sanat Jayasuriya, in my opinion, is a legend. I could have gone with Matthew Hayden as well, or Gilchrist. But yeah, I mean, I just if once you see my team, you will understand. Like for the sake of balance, I did some changes. So coming back to you, why didn't you choose Sachin Tendulkar? That's a very surprising. Uh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about you a little bit, then I'll come back to answer your question. First of all, for the viewers, just to let you know that he has taken 328 wickets in one-day internationals. He has played 445 matches, which is only surpassed by Sachin Tendulkar because he pretty much played forever till he just had to be kicked out. Literally, we told, "Sir, please, you have to go now. You really have to go." Sanat Jayasuriya even played till later years than Tendulkar. Also, Tendulkar retired around 40. I think this guy was playing. He was 42 years old.
Yeah.
And this guy's like 50 years old. He was a crazy batsman. One thing which I will just rectify, that Sanat Jayasuriya was not the first person to start this thing. This was started by a Kiwi player in the previous World Cup whose name was Mark Greatpatch, and he was the one who started doing flamboyant hitting. And then in the next World Cup, it was picked up by these people because apart from Greatpatch in that thing, and that's the World Cup I'm talking about, which was opening bowling was done by Deepak Patel, who was an off spinner, and that's why the Kiwis were starting something different. And after that, people were not sure should we do that or not. And then once Jayasuriya and Kalu Vitharna started doing that, I think after that it just kind of became the norm.
Yeah.
Whosoever could do it, and
Yeah.
then the greatest batsman became like that, unless they were just great batsmen like Tendulkar. Coming back to youth, and okay, I had a choice between either, see, openers. There are certain people who are actually, they do certain things. If you don't put him that spot,
Yeah.
then you really can't put them in the team, right? If you're not going to get Wasim
Yeah.
Akram to bowl, you're just going to have him to just as an all-rounder, and you're never going to get him to bowl. I don't really see a point of that, right? So I feel
Yeah.
it was a juggle between Tendulkar, who is arguably the greatest player. I personally completely don't like him because I think he was one of the greatest selfish greatest players because he would always just make runs for himself, and that's the reason. And if you really minutely watch him, you can figure out it's very obvious. In fact, recently Inzamam ul Haq said that Indian players did not. Specifically talk about Tendulkar, but he said Indian players made hundreds for themselves and Pakistani players made 30s and 40s for the team, and that was one of the reasons why they kept beating India in the 90s and early 2000s. And I don't disagree with him, and that's one of the reasons why Pakistan can't beat us these days. I said us like I'm Indian because I mostly don't actually accept that fact, but let's just say it. So mostly they beat Indians. India beats them, but because right now our team is not very selfish as it was before. Anyway, apart from my personal agenda, I try to be as fair as possible, and I wanted to include the best player there. And I thought that if you obviously it's a balanced thing as well. I felt like either I choose. So it was only between Tendulkar and Rohit Sharma. So I felt that Tendulkar will be satisfied once he scores that 100, and Rohit Sharma would not be satisfied. I'm always looking at 2020, as in year 2020, not 2020 cricket, that at this stage, Tendulkar, if he makes 100, and he'll also slow down towards the 100, but Rohit Sharma will play in such a way that this guy's appetite for this scoring this massive runs, which is obviously proven, he will probably just edge Tendulkar in that way. Lack of selfishness in that manner, and the fact that he can really take on the bowlers right now in the pitches. And I really can't doubt Tendulkar's talent because I think Tendulkar's talent, if you just flat out tell me a talent, because I think only Tendulkar and Brian Lara would just complete stand out for me or in the history. But if you really put them on the pitch and if you tell me if I'm going to pick Rohit Sharma and Tendulkar my way, I just felt Rohit Sharma would be a better team player and also marginally better fielder because Rohit Sharma is not a great fielder because we all know that after quarantine finishes, this guy is not going to be able to get out of his house because he's going to be so fat that he's not going to be able to get out the door. He'll probably have to restructure the door because that's the joke I'm saying, but that's going to be true. I do not know how this guy keeps getting so fat even after pretty much playing such long innings. And everybody saw that picture which was released week last year or something. They're all in the pool and everybody is like ribbed and Rohit Sharma is hiding somewhere in the back. And if you can find that picture, please put that picture. Okay. They're in the pool, and then everybody's ripped, and then this guy is hiding in the back. He's like, no. I don't want to see people my tummy. I think anybody who can beat his tummy is Arjuna Ranatunga, old player, and in the younger players is Lasita Malinga. I do not know how a fast bowler has a fucking belly and can bowl like toe crushers. I just don't get it. I want to understand, what do you do, Malinga? Do you just like slug when you're about to sleep? Every single night. I don't know how he's doing it. Anyway, moving on. And by the way, David Warner. Let's not forget that David Warner. You've taken Tendulkar, so because your lineup is different. But I feel as a left-hander, as we both mixed it up, I felt as a left-hander, David Warner would just be lethal because either was David Warner or Virendra Sehwag. I just felt from a fielding perspective, David Warner is going to be like miles apart than Virendra Sehwag because I had a lot of respect for Virendra Sehwag for going for it. But if push comes to shove, I would pick David Warner because of better fielding any day of the week. And David Warner right now, the way you see him, and also the character he's shown after whatever happened in Newlands in 2018. And then he came back last year very strong, and he's just pretty much been just on song. So I felt like David Warner is going to be my pick for the opener. So we're going to move on to the next two. And I think one pick is going to be pretty much, two picks are going to be definite because if you drop those two players, you really need to give an explanation. Why are you dropping Mr. Virat Kohli?
Yeah. So I think let's get that out of the way. So okay. So let's talk about the next three players: number 3, number 4, and number 5.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think both of our number 3 and number 5 are same. Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. And
I have AB on 4, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the top 5, they both are there. Virat Kohli's record and everything. Since we are Indian, it's and any non-Indians watching, I think even when he travels, I think I'll just go back to the last Australian series. The media and everything was on Virat Kohli. I mean, he's such a famous player right now, and because of his record and because of his consistency, I think in last 3-4 years he's just been mighty consistent. He has been making hundreds and big hundreds, and he has been the way he builds his innings is something which is mind blowing. Because if you see, he will accumulate runs, he'll take those singles and doubles, and then at the end he'll just accelerate. So I mean, and you need such a player there. and there's no way we can leave out Virat Kohli in a ODI team. So that's my reason. And then AV de Villiers, obviously, he's just he's just a magician. People call him Mr. 360 degree, and they are right. I mean, he can play any shot to any ball. I mean, I've seen him playing some amazing shots in IPL because he plays for Bangalore, and I follow Bangalore a lot. So. And apart from that, he's a great fielder. So just one point I wanted to note, in my earlier team, which I sent to Gaurav, AV de Villiers was the wicket keeper, which is strange, but he did wicket keep. He did keep wickets for a while for South Africa. But then when I went and searched for his wicket keeping records and everything, then I saw that he had some back problems because of wicket keeping, so he was not so keen later on to keep wickets. So that's why I removed that responsibility from him. So he's now just playing as a pure batsman and an amazing fielder. And my fifth player, who is on the fourth position, is Ricky Ponting. So, and he is also the captain of the team. So Ricky Ponting, again, a legend, and as a captain, he has won 2 World Cups. So he knows how to lead a team. And I needed someone with a who is a strong individual who can lead a team with so many stars, because that happens when you have a lot of stars in the team. It sometimes becomes difficult to lead that team. So Ricky Ponting has that experience, because he has led the All Star Australian team who dominated world cricket for so long. So that was one of my reasons. So that is one reason why I chose Ricky Ponting. Apart from his batting skills, obviously. So those are my top five.
All right, fair enough. So briefly on that, I feel because I already have Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, I'll just go. I'll not get rant into it, but I feel Virat Kohli. If you really see anybody who understands cricket, and if you really watch this guy play, I really don't know that from a tactical point of view, from a mental point of view, from physical point of view, from a technical point of view. I mean, I do not know any player who would be just better than this guy. Because if you want to put a bet that who's going to take you home, who's not going to get out, who's going to be just understand, it's just like he's like a computer. He's like, this guy is just a computer, which is like, sometime a bug can happen. He can just shut down and restart. He can get out anytime. And sometimes people do get into his head as well, which is not untrue. But the fact is that most of the time he's going to get the job done, and he's the most reliable, and the records. But again, as I was saying, although Bikram, you said it, but we are not picking any players because of record. And that's the reason we are not picking Kumar Sangakkara. I mean, such an ace player, and he can wicket keep like anything. So we don't have Kumar Sangakkara, so it's not about that. And also, thank you for not picking Sachin Tendulkar as the captain, because I really think Sachin Tendulkar would have been the best captain ever. His voice would have been like, "Hey, Ethan, please go that side." I said, people like, "Oh, what are you talking about, mate?" So Ricky Ponting will be like, Jesus Christ, this guy, mate. And I'm not going to reveal your team, so I was going to take the name of the team. But I'm just saying, Ricky Ponting was like, dude, it's not just working out, mate. You just start batting her. All right. So then AB de Villiers, as you called him a magician, I would call, in all my experience, and by the way, as you people notice if they watch the quiz, that my cricket knowledge is probably not as great as Bikram's, which actually surprised me. But when I was analysing later on, it made sense, because Bikram, you actually watch cricket. I've actually completely lost track of cricket. Somehow just dropped out a little bit in that, and it was very visible that time that I was just losing track of it. A little bit was memory situation, but a lot of it I was just not aware of it. I don't watch cricket as much. I mean, I watch football, as you know, very well. My point is that, but I have this immense understanding of cricket because I've played myself. I've played in Dehradun. I've played in my house team. I've captained. I've played in Australia, very lower leagues. So let's be fair here. I cannot. I mean, AB de Villiers. I mean, this guy literally God. Like, for me, if I can actually drop Virat Kohli from the team, I cannot drop AB de Villiers. If anybody who is talking to me and they don't have AB de Villiers on their list for the best ODI team, any generation, I don't want to have this conversation. I'm just done. I'm just gonna go home. I'm just like, dude, this guy is just nuts. Because, dude, have people seen AB de Villiers play? The guy's crazy.
Yeah.
absolutely nuts. Just the way we said Virat Kohli is going to be the one who's going to get you home. When AB de Villiers walk in, you'll be like, I don't know what this guy's gonna do. He's gonna freaking like fall flat on the pitch and just whip you from like right over your head or right over his own head over the wicket keeper, and then for the biggest six on the earth. So anyway, I feel like AB de Villiers was one person who was 100%, 100 out of 100 times. He was always gonna be in. And the next person, by the way, Ricky Ponting is a very big choice. I think that shows you being conservative because you got such amazing batsmen there: Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Ricky Ponting. AB de Villiers might be a bit more flamboyant, so he can get out at times. But these three players, I mean, come on, most of them will not gonna get out, right?
Yeah.
Jasurya flamboyant. So I've got more flamboyant batsmen. Somebody I personally really, really love, and forget about personally. If people don't understand what Kevin Peterson brings to the table, then I don't think they understand a lot of cricket. But this guy, Kevin Peterson, has flamboyance, panache, and just absolutely grab you by the scruff of your neck. And this guy, he's fearless. And although his career was truncated, particularly in ODIs, and because he's an absolute, genuine, bona fide asshole, and that's why in English team, I mean, the guy's South African, and he just goes to England, plays for the team, becomes the captain, and then just everything shit hits the fan, everything goes down the drain. Guy's just nuts. I don't want to get into this conspiracies, but Kevin Peterson was just one of those biggest fucking nut jobs and just a big time genuine asshole, because I'm myself an asshole. So, but the guy's a genuine asshole, and it did not work out for him eventually, and he didn't play as many matches as he should have. But even when he played test matches for 9 years, he was still the highest test centuries he had for England. And later on, obviously broken by the guy who played the maximum match, Alistair Cook. But the guy was just brilliant. And when he by the way, I don't know if you remember when he was launched in One Day International, this guy smacked centuries after centuries against South Africa. And he would just put his knee down and he just whip you. Absolutely whip you like on the leg side. And then he started a different game as well, and he was the one who was the reverse sweep, which people thought was illegal. Reverse sweep
switch it. Sorry, not reverse sweep. Switch it. So
switch hit, reverse switch hit and hitting sixes, and people were like, this is illegal. He's like, why don't you try doing it? And people are like, it's too difficult, so it's not illegal. Because if it's difficult, it's not illegal. So for me, and plus also I told you yesterday that brilliant fielder. So it just makes it a better fielding team right now. I think with I do have Sharma, but you have Tendulkar. Jasurya was a good fielder, so I think marginally my fielding team is better, but otherwise you're fine till now. So let's talk about the next two, which will also reveal our wicket keeper and all rounder, and then we'll get into the bowlers.
So my wicket keeper is surprise Jos Butler.
Jos Butler.
So he's playing currently, and I think everyone knows him since he plays in IPL. So he's from England. So why I chose him, I had Yuvraj Singh there, not as a wicket keeper. My wicket keeper was AB de Villiers, because as you said before. I mean, just right now that my team is very conservative, so I needed some battering ram at the lower order or like middle lower order. So that's why I picked Jos Butler and Lance Klusener. Lance Klusener is my all rounder, and both of them. I mean, I'll talk about Jos Butler first. So Jos Butler, I saw his records. He has good record. He has average of 40, and he has experience of playing at number 7 for England. So there was for a long time I wanted to bring Dhoni in, but then what I thought is if we bring Dhoni in, then I can't let him play so down, because if you see Dhoni, most of his innings, match-winning innings or like impactful innings, he has played at number 4 or number 5, and the lower he comes, the less impact he makes on the game. And now he is slowing down. But even he was at his peak, most of his impactful innings came a bit upper on in the order. So that's why I didn't want to take him and play him at number 7, because that would have been a waste. So I really wanted someone who can just just bash from the word go, and I couldn't find anyone better than Jos Butler, and his current form is also very good. So he's my wicket keeper, and he'll play at number 7. So number 6, I'll I can switch between 6 and 7 because my all rounder is Lance Klusner. So Lance Klusner again is a very I think a lot of people who are again very younger than us, they won't know who is Lance Klusner because he had a relatively shorter career. He just played 171 matches, but whatever he played, he was again very brutal. He averages 40, and he has a strike rate of 90, and 90 won't sound so good right now, but the era which he was playing and the the type of bowling he had to face and all that, 90 was a damn good strike rate. And in fact, if we when we were talking about World Cup, he has the third highest strike rate in World Cup. And I think there was a question I asked you during the quiz as well. So he was just brutal. I remember the infamous Australia versus South Africa match. South Africa was dead and buried, and this guy just came and wagged around, and they came close to winning until that infamous run out happened. So yeah, I mean, and his bowling is also pretty good. He has I think 190 odd wickets, and he used to bowl with good pace as well. So I just felt that he'll be a good choice. I mean, there are other all-rounders, better all-rounders than him. There's Jack Callis, but Jack Callis won't fit in such a role because I wanted someone who can just go out and give me quick 30-40 runs, or 20, even 30-35 runs. So that's why I picked these two players, because I feel they're very flamboyant and they can up the ante at the end. Since I had a bit a conservative top five, so those were my two picks for 6 and 7.
All right, I think I like your team better now because you've dropped Yuvraj Singh, because I feel like because it's so conservative at the top, Tendulkar, Virat Kohli and Ricky Ponting, these are conservative players. I mean, you really need to hold on. So I'm just saying, like, once these people have laid the platform and said Jasuria is there at least.
Yeah.
So, and then later on, you have to have three players who's really going to hit the ground running, as they say, and really go for the big sixes. And
Yeah.
Klusner, if people have not seen it, you should go to YouTube and just check out. This guy hits you. You know what they used to say? When this guy hits you, if the ball like the way he whacks it, if it hits you, you're a bowler, you're dead. And this is not a joke. I have seen this guy. This guy was just like, when you say sometimes when Dhoni does the helicopter shot and other thing, this guy was just butcherish. Like, I don't know, was he like preparing for baseball?
Yeah.
He was just like completely go nuts, because once he used to hit it, the fielders never moved. There's like, what do you do? And by the way, that just was that match which South Africa infamously lost, and just before they lost because of stupidity, including both Klusner and Donald.
Yeah.
And the way he had hit a couple of boundaries, the way, just see how the ball raced to the boundary. Just see that. It just can't. It's a World Cup semi-final, right? But it's just crazy. So I would not. I'm very happy that your team is kind of different than my team, but I'm just like, I'm very interested in this team. Obviously, if they ever play together, my team will actually whip you completely. But that's a different matter. But I completely like this team. It's and Josh Butler, which people don't realize, but the fact is, a player who's going to come at this. I love the positioning. He's going to come out. He's going to hit the ball. Plus, the guy is doing the wicket keeping job.
Yeah.
What is he's genuine wicket keeper. He's an England wicket keeper, obviously, based off of whatever reason, just wicket keep, because I think Bairstow is like, no, listen, I want a wicket keep. So if you wicket keep, your position is more solid, right? If somebody gets dropped, then Josh Butler is gonna get dropped. So they feel like Bairstow say, like, no, I'm gonna do it. Plus the fact this guy's a redhead, and nobody wants to fuck with a redhead, particularly a guy. I mean, you don't want to fuck with Bairstow, man. Bairstow is just like, looks like a crazy guy who's gonna punch you in the face.
I just wanted to make one point. And Josh Butler's career has been a roller coaster. He has been dropped, and he came back to the team, and now he became vice captain. So it's just his journey has also been very exciting. So yeah.
What, he got robbed? Robbed by who?
Dropped, not robbed.
Oh, dropped. I was like, he was robbed. What does that have to do with anything? Everybody got robbed in India. Okay, moving on. I have somebody which people might have forgotten, but anybody who's seen, arguably one of the greatest one-day international all-rounders and amazing bowler when it comes to test matches, and that's Andrew Flintoff from England. and his career was shortened because of injury. He also played for less than a decade.
Hmm.
I felt like once I have the team Sharma, Warner, and Kohli and De Villiers and Peterson, I want somebody who's going to come out and just absolutely go for it. And I think Flintoff is definitely not as great a player as, let's say, Klusner or even Josh Butler. But I think when you compare 1-on-1, if Flintoff's going to go for it, he's going to hit you for a lot of sixes, and you're not going to be able to control it. So I feel like that thing is there. And just in case Flintoff is not able to get on, I just didn't. Then I was like, if you're going to get all those players out, then I mean, my team deserves to lose. So I feel my number 7 is going to be, Adam Gilchrist, also the wicketkeeper, and also somebody who's just amazing player, because his standard spot was opener. But the fact that everybody knows that in the test matches, he used to come at this number 7. And the fact he used to come out like he's playing 2020. He's going to come out and start whipping you.
Yeah.
So I see no reason why this guy is not going to come out here and absolutely go for it. I had either him, by the way, or our own MS Dhoni, who I personally do not like towards the second part of his career, because I felt he became like, in the simplest terms, a complete wuss. And he just became super conservative, and I think I can't understand that guy, and he's still the same person. So I'm like, I feel like at least with Adam Gilchrist, you know exactly what you're gonna get. And also to your point, that why are you putting MS Dhoni when you have the World 11? Why do you need somebody who's going to eventually finish your things for you? If you have the best players, you should not need somebody who's going to be finishing things. You just need somebody who's going to absolutely go for it, and totally go for it. And by the way, you still have a sort of batsman coming up. So those are our batsmen and wicket keepers. And by the way, Adam Gilchrist is also the captain, if I did not say that already.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat Adam Gilchrist. And by the way, we are not saying that I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not saying that Josh Butler is better wicketkeeper batsman than Dhoni. But at that position, Dhoni doesn't fit in the team. So that's why I had to drop him or not take him. So okay.
Yeah, you could have easily had Adam Gilchrist also, but it's good to have a different player.
Yeah, I wanted a different player. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I think.
Why not Parthiv Patel? Jesus Christ! Why not Parthiv Patel? Parthiv Patel. I can open for you.
Yeah, he opens for.
Yeah, I think he does, right? He does. And I'm really hoping your first bowler is not a leg spinner, a great leg spinner from India, Piyush Chawla. I hope that's not the case, because as much as he deserves it, we should not have Piyush Chawla.
Yeah, no, he's not there. Yeah. So my first, I think we'll talk about the Pacers. So my Pacers are the opening Pacers would be Sean Pollock and Wasim Akram. I think you also. I'll not reveal your team. So, oh yeah, you tell me who are your frontline Pacers.
I don't know, like, why do you want to open with... Okay, anyway, I wanted to open with 2 players, but I think it makes sense. I have 4 bowlers now, pure out and out. So, but I have not picked somebody who's out and out super fast. So, yeah, I have not picked somebody else. So, I am opening with Glenn McGrath, and which is similar to your Sean Pollock. And, I mean, how do you drop Akram? The guy has wickets are there for the show, but I'm saying, again, I'm not picking because of the wicket, but I've seen him. I mean, just Akram is somebody who's going to bowl like both, he not only reverse swing, which is great, he will also outswing and also in swing. You have no idea where the ball is going. So for a one-day international, it's just an automatic pick for me, man. It's like I just can't have a team without Wasim Akram in a one-day international.
Yeah, because he can do both, as you said, with the new ball and the old ball, and his in swings were very good. And you need to have a left arm in swing bowler in your team if you are picking up a.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So
it was just either him or Munaf Patel, but I picked Akram. I thought on his day Akram will be better than Munaf Patel or Venkatesh Prasad, obviously. So yeah.
Yeah. For that, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I know you chose Glenn McGrath, and I mean Glenn McGrath again is one of the I think the best bowler ever, one of the best bowler ever. So I went with Sean Pollock. One reason was that I wanted to have a different player as well, because we wanted a discussion, right? So I didn't want to make a team similar to you, because then our Wasim Akram and McGrath will be same. But generally, I also feel that Sean Pollock is on par with very similar to McGrath, and I feel that he's on par with McGrath, because if to see that McGrath played with a better team compared to what South Africa also had a very good team. They had Graham Smith and everyone. But if you just compare with the Australian team, which Glenn McGrath was part of, Glenn McGrath was part of a very good team. So it's like, there was pressure from all the sides. Again, if you don't score against Glenn McGrath, then you have to score against Jason Gillespie. Then there is Shane Warne and everyone. So yeah, I mean, I went with Sean Pollock because again, he's very. In fact, his economy is slightly better than McGrath. I think McGrath is having 3.8 something, and he's having 3.6. So again, not going by stats, but he if you follow both Sean Pollock and Glenn McGrath, you will see they both were very competitive. In some years, Glenn McGrath was number one, and some years Sean Pollock was number one ODI bowler. So yeah, and the other reason why I picked Sean Pollock, because I wanted some kind of I didn't want a long tail. Obviously, you went with a different approach, but I wanted someone who can hold his bat as well, because I know your team. That's why I'm saying that. And so I wanted. So Wasim Akram is a capable batsman himself, but with Sean Pollock coming at number 9, I think it gives more depth to the batting. I know you will say that why do you need depth in the batting when you have like such a illustrious top 7, but still it's good to have some backup. So yeah, that's the reason why I picked Sean Pollock. Yeah.
Fair enough. Tell me the rest of the other two.
Yeah, so my other two players are again one pacer, Dale Steyn from South Africa, and I have lone spinner in Shane Warne. I just picked one spinner. I think you have
You have gazillion spinners before.
yeah, because I yeah
Shane Warne, yes.
yeah, because I already have Sanjay Jasurya and Sachin Tendulkar, who was also a decent spinner. So yeah, so Shane Warne again, legend, and I felt that like the Australian team, in this team, he would have complete freedom to go for the attack, right? Because once you deal with Wasim Akram and Sean Pollock and Dale Steyn, then you want to score some runs and you come in front of Shane Warne, and then Shane Warne will have the full license to go on the attack, like how he used to have in the Australian team. So and there are not many leg spinners, right? When even I was searching, like who are the other players? Not many leg spinners who did very well in ODI. I think from India there was Kumble, but on quality, I think Shane Warne would just trump Kumble because he used to spin the ball. So I wanted some spinner who would really spin the ball. So that's why I picked Shane Warne. And Dale Steyn, okay, so Dale Steyn, there was a competition between Dale Steyn and Malinga, but I just picked Malinga because if you look at stats, he is better than Malinga. I personally, because I've seen Malinga get hit around a lot, especially by Virat Kohli. So I feel that I have much better confidence in Dale Steyn. And plus he's a better fielder, much better fielder than Malinga. And I just love Dale Steyn as well because he's an amazing character again. Like I think most of the South Africans are very, they have very good character on the field. And in fact, he just last year he came to RCB, Royal Challengers Bangalore IPL team, just played few matches and just completely turned around the mood in the team. So that way, I very really like him. And as I said, he has on Malinga is better average, better strike rate, and better economy. And I think he has more control. He has been injury prone, so this is one reason why I have so many backup bowlers, so that if he breaks down between the match, I have enough bowlers to fill in. So so that's why, yeah. So that's why my last two players is Shane Warne and Dale Steyn. So what about you?
So I got Malinga, who has got pretty much basically fundamentally for the tummy. because I love people who have just massive bellies. And the greatest bowler officially, Muthaiya Muralidharan, and I picked these people. See, what I'm seeing right now is obviously you're clearly really scared of my bowlers, and that's why you're just backing. I'm just now noticing that Wasim Akram can bat, Shane Warne can bat, Sean Pollard can bat, and probably they can inspire Dale Steyn to bat as well. Now I was like, this is going on and on. You guys are so scared of my bowlers because when Glenn McGrath is going to come in the opening, not going to let Jasurya plays like those uppercuts, and he's going to be like, I'm so fucking unhappy. I'm going to get out because of this thing. And Glenn McGrath will be like, oh no, sorry, Akram will be like, Tendulkar, you think you're the greatest batsman? See, I'm gonna just bowl you with the in swinger. And then Virat Kohli was like, oh, is the ball swinging out or in? So it's gonna be very problematic. And then I was like, I'm gonna crush your toes by Malinga. Don't give me the records. I don't care about the records. The fact is that Malinga, anybody who knows, and plus you're a Mumbai, no, you're not a Mumbai Indian fan, but everybody, how much amazing stuff is he done for Mumbai Indians. For shorter format, again, it's a touch and go situation. So I was like, who do I pick? So I just went completely with Malinga. I was like, I don't know. I just like, okay, it was just, this is something I'm going to go with. And I want somebody a toe crusher. And I felt like he was the toe crusher. By the way, for me, it was between Waqar Younis. People have forgotten. By the way, Waqar Younis is the third highest wicket taker in one day international. Very less matches. Amazing averages. Amazing strike rate. He literally has the best strike rate. And he was amazing. And I just felt with, both were going to be bad fielders. Malinga is going to be probably even worse fielder. I just felt like, okay, don't even ask me to explain because I can't explain why I would choose Malinga over Waqar Younis. There's no explanation. I just felt like I just went with Malinga. And I was like, okay. Because I'm also thinking 2020 and right now, his age isn't. I felt like maybe in modern times, maybe slightly. I was just like, but if you really ask me a rational explanation, I can't explain it. And by the way, Muthaiya Muralidharan, not because he's the greatest bowler, which is very obvious. The fact that I felt like this guy is going to be this off spinner. And if you really see my team, I only have fast bowlers and then I don't have any bowlers. So if Flintoff, McGrath, Akram, Malinga and Muralidharan, any of them gets injured, I literally have to get Virat Kohli to bowl. Or I'm going to be getting Rohit Sharma trained in the nets for becoming the greatest fast bowler on earth. So I have nobody who can bowl. Peterson can't bowl, everybody else can't bowl, Kohli can't bowl, Warner can't bowl, Sharma can't bowl. You can't have Aaron Gilchrist to start bowling now and okay, every Williams will keep. It is a very problematic situation for me. And so I just wanted somebody who's just going to be great and can't just and I don't have any other off spinner. You have a lot of off spinners. And by the way, also let you know, people who are going to piss on me because of not taking Tendulkar, I have not chosen a single player, including AB de Villiers also. But when I said AB de Villiers, I have to choose him. The fact is, how do you not choose him? Because he's just going to make your team better. I've chosen everybody. And I love Shane Warne, even much bigger than I personally think Muthaiya Muralidharan was a great bowler. But if you really ask me, Shane Warne is something who is going to be my captain also, because I feel Shane Warne is just one of the greatest captains out there who never really ended up becoming the captain. And we can see that when he joined IPL and how he did transform Rajasthan Royals. Amazing guy. I have not picked Shane Warne, who I feel has to be the greatest spinner of all time. Because I just felt from my team, the way I'm picking my team, I just feel like from a bowler, I felt like I have Malinga, one who's flamboyant. Let's not have another flamboyant person in Shane Warne, because when you're a leg spinner, sometimes you can actually go for a run. If you really want to make sure that somebody's going to spin like the entire red carpet, and Muthaiya Muralidharan is going to be, I have to say it's slightly conservative choice, but for a spinner, when it comes to spinner, how do you compare Shane Warne and Muthaiya Muralidharan with anybody else? Literally with anybody else. These guys are just crazy. And by the way, we were so stupid, including me, when these guys were playing, I actually felt Australia will come up with another Shane Warne, Sri Lanka will come up with nobody's going to come up with anything like that. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And by the way, now the finger spinners, you might still get some interesting ones. But how do you get a leg spinner like Shane Warne or anybody even close to this guy? Man, that guy's crazy. No, he's not a one-day international legend, but even when not being a legend, you can see his statistic, the way he bowled. He had problems. You remember one just before the World Cup, he got tested for some drug. Apparently, there was not a drug. He just had some medicine, and
he had behavior problems as well.
And behavior issues. So, and he was fat. But his fat never actually stopped him for bowling 35 overs every day in test matches, right? So I've dropped a player, somebody I really love. I've dropped Brian Lara, which I feel like is infinitely better batsman than Warner, or even including Kohli, including Peterson. But I just felt like once I put Peterson, it just makes more sense. And Brian Lara has massive record, and even including one day, because the guy is a great test player. But even in one day international, you could easily pick him. I didn't pick Stark because it does not balance very well, because either you put Bikram or you put this one. And by the way, we didn't talk about somebody who's an amazing opener who could actually take over Jasuria, which the last question I'll ask you: why don't you take Chris Gale for Jasuria, because he can do the same job?
Yeah, so yeah, just Chris Gale again. It's a bit of a lottery. I mean, I know he's great and he's done a lot of, like played a lot of good innings. But again, my criteria was that should contribute in other ways. Well, like he's not a very good fielder. I mean, he takes catches and everything, but he moves very gingerly. And bowling wise, Sanat Jayasuriya is better than him. So yeah, I mean, I did consider him as well for a bit. But I just, for the balance of the team, I thought it is better, because I mean, looking at your team, you have two very bad fielders in your team. How you're going to hide those two fielders?
I know. By the way, just saw Twitter, and there's a tweet for you. It's from Chris Gale. He just said, "Fuck you, man." That's all. That's all he wants to say. He's just like, he's not happy. He's not happy. He's saying, even if I'm 50 years old, I'll fuck over like Jasuria. But I think that's a bit of a feud you just fallen into. But that's what happened. By the way, I said that's the last thing, but the last thing is not this. The last thing is, all the people are telling me this guy doesn't know his shit. Tendulkar has 18,000 runs, blah blah blah, 18,000, almost 90, whatever runs. And why don't you pick him? Do you guys know who has the highest fucking goals in soccer, in the history of soccer? Do you guys know that? Nobody fucking knows that, because this guy's name is Joseph Bikram. This guy was born in Czech Republic, whose country name also got changed, by the way, later on, right? He has, and some people are like, oh, he must have played 1,000 matches, and no, he only played 530 matches, and he scored 805 goals, which is 1.52 per match. And nobody knows him. So don't give me that logic, just because somebody has maximum runs, we have to just play him. Because unlike Kevin Peterson, who played for 9 years, by the way, and Josh Butler, who's played for only a handful of years, and even our AB de Villiers, who probably played for 12 years, Klusner played for hardly any years. This guy played for what, 23 years? Tendulkar played from 89 till 2012, right? How many years? 23 years. That guy had. So once you play for those many years, you're going to accumulate those many runs. It's just going to happen, but you just don't choose. I think at the end of the day, I really like your balance of your team, who seems obviously scared of my team, but I can understand. And I feel if you get all my 5-7 batsmen out, then I deserve to lose. And you guys, you pretty much have all the batsmen, and some people bowl. Sean Pollock.
Yeah.
Wasim Akram probably was like, can you just put me at number 5 before AB de Villiers? He's like, dude, just seriously, just bowl, please. Just bowl, please. All right. So on that note, I think if you don't like our team, if you feel your team is different, I think I'm very happy with this guy's Bikram's team. Completely different than mine. I was going to shit all over it, but I have to respect it. At the end, also respect once it, like, it totally bitch slaps your team in a real match, if it ever happens. Not sure it's going to happen.
Just one thing I noticed, that your team is going to have a lot of ego issues. They're like big burly Australians, and then there's Kevin Peterson, and I think there'll be some fights happening.
Yeah, Peterson's going to be okay once AB de Villiers there. That's why I put them together. It's like, and then Flintoff is going to come in. I think, that's going to be a bit of a problem. But that's why Adam Gilchrist is saying, he's going to be like, all right, mate, just fucking just go back to field. And I think we're going to be all right. And David Warner right now is going to be more settled after all the drama that happened. But yeah, I totally agree with you. There's going to be a lot of problems. I think that's why I put AB de Villiers in the middle. It's like, Virat Kohli, Sharma. That's going to be that's a lot of. This is problematic.
We'll talk about it in a second.
It's going to be problematic. So I thought we'll do both the teams in the one go, but I think we'll have to do another podcast, because this is already running into almost 50 minutes. So let's wrap this one and start another one. So the next part, if you continue, we're going to be showing you the best ODI 11 from 1995 to 2020 for the last 25 years for India. And this is going to be slightly controversial. Let's see if I have Tendulkar next time or not. If I don't, people are going to be like, dude, are you going to name Tendulkar ever in your history? Ever, for that matter. And if my team does not fight with each other, I think my team is going to beat Bikram's team, but there's a huge possibility that my team is going to start fighting, and there's going to be a big brawl during the one-day international, and then it has to be abandoned and just like handed over to the Bikram's team, because our team just could not handle players within. and that's going to be a huge problem. So please do not just watch it, subscribe,
Yeah.
like, and share with people, because everybody loves cricket and everybody loves us. I think we spoke a lot. I think we've done a very we spent a lot of time finding these players, and I think we've just not chosen people we like. We've chosen people who's actually going to win against the other team.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think both teams have an even chance. And if you can break, if one of my players punches one of my bowlers, then I think we are in a lot of shit, because nobody else can bowl.
Yeah. So do post your team if you feel that you can do a better job selecting better team. So post your team in the comment section.
Please list it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely list it, regardless, because you can't do a better job. So I want to be.
Yeah,
I know I'm not
we dare
nicest.
you.
Nicest.
We dare
Not
you.
with. Yeah, we dare you. Please do a better job. Who are you gonna pick? Piyush Chawla? Bring your Piyush Chawla. Who are you gonna bring?
Okay.
Who was the other one? Who was Parthiv Patel, the best wicket
Wicket
keeper
keeper
ever?
batsman.
Because
Yeah.
when he used to wicket keep, and Matthew Hayden, who we didn't choose, great player. Sometimes you were like, is the wicket keeper there? What's happening? I was like, oh, he's there. You can't see him. You can't even see him. So
Yeah.
I think one of the greatest thing Parthiv Patel has ever done is actually stump Matthew Hayden, and he has never forgotten that. And he's the greatest achievement of Parthiv Patel's life. But you have to give it to Parthiv Patel with such little stature, and I think he's done very, very well over the last. I
Yeah.
think he's been there for a couple of decades. People have forgotten, and longer than I think he's gonna outdo Tendulkar if he ever
Yeah.
comes back to Indian team. The overall tenure, like the start and end point, will be higher than Tendulkar.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I
All
think
right.
we.
Yeah. Take care, and see you again in the next part, which is Best of India's ODI.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Hey. Bye.
Let me feel your light. Standing here.